Greetings, beloved. Welcome to Tuesdays with Tawana, where we are celebrating Black Herstory Month through the lens of womanism and womanists who have touched and shaped my life, like Reverend Dr. Carolyn Habersham, my daughter, Darylyn Davis, the beautiful and amazing Mama CJ, to my sisters and my niece who love me unconditionally, my sister, Reverend Dr. Tammy Denise of Carrie's Touch, Supervisor Miriam Burnett, my wonder twin, my sister for life, Rochelle Fry Skinner, the Honorable Angela Y. Davis, my forever presiding elder, Sherilyn Curry, Sojourner Truth, my beloved cousin, Alex, and our curator of womanism, Alice Walker, the late Toni Morrison, my love, Reverend Dr. Karen Anderson, the waymaker and the change agent, Shirley Chisholm, the Right Reverend Francine Brookins, Esquire, our revolutionary Tracy L. Blackman, our beloved mother, Bishop Carolyn Tyler Guidry, to the incomparable late Marsha P. Johnson, to this lifesaver who saved my life, the Reverend Dr. Carolyn McCrary, to my Pink Robe Chronicles family and our pastor, Melva Sampson, Reverend Dr. Melva Sampson, the late Lucille Clifton, the visionary Reverend Dr. Ivy Lee Sessions of the Gathering Church, a Womanist church, the late Katie Geneva Cannon, another lifesaver, Reverend McIntyre, and Reverend Dr. Lisa Allen McLaurin. To the abolitionists, my Harlem sister, Reverend Dr. Nakia Smith Robert, the late Maya Angelou, and y'all know how I love me some Audre Lorde, the late Honorable Audre Lorde, Ida B. Wells, our fourth wave womanist pioneer, Ebony Janice, a womanist theologian, the late Dolores S. Williams, my beloved Dr. Carol Watkins Ali, the amazing Reverend Dr. Wilda Gaffney, my sister, leader, community extraordinaire, Tara Gardner, Tracy Gardner, my love, my sister, Reverend Dr. Monica Coleman, my niece Tamika doing her thing at the Black Effect, Reverend Dr. Marion Missy McGee, and the one who introduced me to womanism, Reverend Dr. Lola Scott Russell. And you know, I just had to add Representative Jasmine Crockett just on general principle. To my beloved Dr. Nikki Smith Kia, Reverend Dr. Mitzi J. Smith, Reverend Dr. Maria Crompton, you are my inspiration. Yannick, and the late Bishop Sarah Frances Taylor Davis, and of course, my mom, who was a womanist before I even had the name for womanism. So welcome to Black Women's Herstory Month and womanism. Hey beloveds, it is Dr. Tad on location. It is Tuesdays with Tawana. I am actually going to put on my headphones and some of this sound in the background. It's late because this one here is on the West Coast and I normally record at 10 o'clock on the East Coast.
forgetting that I had to record at 7 o'clock on the West Coast. So we're gonna get it popping, we're gonna get it in. I hope you enjoyed the intro, just a snippet of those who have inspired me, past and present, um, as we delve into Black Women's Herstory Month. And I am focusing on womanism this month. So we will have some special guests and just some amazing dialogue for such a time as this. So, welcome. We are broadcasting live from LA and we are streaming on YouTube Live. So, you know, pop in your comments. I'll always insert them into the narrative. I'm sure half the country is sleeping right now, but we're going to press forward. We're going to press forward and do this recording and make it happen because building community never ends. And you can always catch the replay on any of your podcast platforms. You can catch it on YouTube, and I do post to some social media platforms, but I really want you to click, like, subscribe, and share on Spotify, on Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. Hashtag Tuesdays with Tawana. And I am Dr. Tad, your host and your curator for the moments that we have together this evening. So, one, I don't know what it is to Dr. Irie Lynn Sessions. My tongue gets tied, and I will re record that opening to make sure that I honor everyone's names accordingly. To my presiding elder, Sherilyn, same with you. Um, yeah, because I honor you. And it's late and I just couldn't record it again, but I will have it right for next Tuesday. So um, let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. I thought it important to talk about womanism because many or some don't know the depth and the importance of womanism. Others may not have even heard of womanism. So, to make sure that you have an opportunity to experience uh, womanism and the various aspects of womanism. And I just want to make sure y'all can hear me. Okay, good. Okay, so with that, um, womanism, womanism. So some of you know that I um, earned my PhD in leadership and change. My PhD focuses on womanists leading intergroup dialogue to end anti Black racism. Intergroup dialogue is when, in my case, where Black women lead conversations, revolutionary and liberative conversations in predominantly white spaces, not only white skin, white thought, white ideology. And we insert storytelling and truth telling, and we talk about microaggressions and implicit bias and things of that nature. Um, we call in and call out racism and the other isms and the history of this country, and we have real conversation, and we do it in a loving way. And it seems to be like an oxymoron, like how can you speak truth to people that have caused us harm and still do it in a loving way? That's how you have to find out. You have to hire me as a consultant, and I come in and I show you how it's done.
Um, so let's talk about womanism and why womanism is so deeply rooted in my mere existence, my activism, my teaching, my consulting, my the way I show up in community and in my village, uh, on social media, wherever. Womanism is at the core of my being, along with my faith, um, and my agency as a Black woman. So, womanism, I describe this is the way I describe womanism. I describe womanism as um, it's a way of being, a way of knowing. It is theological, ethical, environmental praxis. Womanism is the centering of Black women in particular and Black beloveds overall, looking to ourselves for our own liberation, for the liberation of all. Let me pause right there. So, womanism is not another elitist ideology, white supremacy, evangelicals, so on and so forth. It is a way of being and a way of knowing that honors Black beloveds, because we are not waiting for anybody else to do it, right? um, Honors and centers Black women and Black beloveds for our liberation from oppression, marginalization, westernized thought, white supremacy, dehumanization, liberation from societal ills, whether it is racism, lack of access to health care, to heinous policing, to a government that just really doesn't give two fucks about us. Uh, so, womanism, we take it upon ourselves, and it's not contingent upon anybody else's story, how anybody else defines us, which is why Audre Lorde was inserted in the intro, where um, if I don't define myself, then I will be crunched into other people's fantasies and eaten alive. And that has been happening and is still happening. And womanism gives us a foundation, gives us a centering space where we now can define who we are and how we choose to show up in the world, how we choose to build community, how we heal in community, how we um, create movements and we evolve and we are revolutionaries in community. So I do want to read Alice Walker's definition of womanism. It is a four-part definition, um, and it's a beautiful example of um, how we don't have to be boxed in to a particular definition of who we are, because we are full, we are round, we are spiritual, we are human beings in these spiritual beings housed in this temporal body. We are mystical, we are magical, we are divine, we are beautiful. So I am going to read the four-part definition of womanism. And before I read the definition, I do want to say that womanism isn't this one way uh, linear thought. It really evolves into and integrates your lived experience with this definition that is a framework, that is something like a guide to make sure that we are grounded in who we are and honoring who we are. Um, so this four-part definition, I invite you to listen intently, thinking about your lived experience, your essence, your core, your heart center, um, and listen with your third eye, if you will. So Alice Walker's 1983 definition of womanist. From womanish, a black feminist or feminist of color. So that means it doesn't have to be either or. You can be a womanist and a black feminist. You could be a black feminist and not a womanist and still tap into womanist tenets and womanist ideologies. Um, from the black folk expression of mothers to female children, like you acting womanish, i.e., like a woman. Remember when we were little, you acting grown. You, so that's what that means. Um, Usually referring to, and I love this, outrageous, audacious, courageous, or willful behavior. People try to silence us, people try to diminish us, or they define us as angry, but we are outrageous and audacious and courageous, and we have willful behavior. Like, we're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it do what it do. Wanting to know more in greater depth than is considered good for one. So we're always striving for more, not from an ego standpoint, but from our essence and in the spirit of shared community and shared experiences. And as Reverend Dr. Melva Sampson reminds us, and Mama Iti Hari, of sacred memory of our ancestors. We're always searching and wanting more in greater depth. We are interested in doing grown up things, acting grown up, being grown up, interchangeable with another Black folk expression, you trying to be grown, and we are responsible, in charge, and serious. So we're always looking for that growth, right? To be grown, to continue to evolve. That's just the first part of the definition. Part two, a woman who loves other women sexually and or non-sexually, appreciate appreciates and prefers women's culture, women's emotional flexibility, values tears as a natural counterbalance or a counterbalance of laughter, and woman's strength. So, if I can paraphrase for a moment, um, we appreciate women sexually, non sexually, as the essence, as the mother uh, of creation, and we balance that out with who we are, um, with our natural tendencies to feel. Our emotions are divine. They shouldn't be looked at as negative or weak or over feminized, if you will. And it's rooted in strength. Sometimes we love individual men, sexually or non sexually, committed to survival and wholeness of entire people, male and female, not a separatist, except periodically for health, traditionally universalist. So we are separatists when we need to be, but we are often communal. And those who are down for the liberation and revolution of Black women and Black beloveds, you can come on board. Full stop. Number three, loves music, loves dance, loves the moon, loves spirit, loves to love food, loves roundness, loves struggle, loves folk, loves herself regardless. We are rooted in a love ethic. This is what womanism is about, being rooted in a love ethic of self, because we can't give what we don't have and we can't pour from an empty cup. And then number 4, womanist is to feminist as purple is to lavender. So although womanist was curated by Alice Walker after feminism and black feminism, I like to insert womanist right before black feminism, because then it gives black feminists something to tap into that is um, in alignment with black feminism, instead of trying to be solely antithetical to feminism that has excluded black women for so long, and try to fit black women into this um, square hole using a round peg, and creating this space that centered white women with black women as a part of that centering. So, womanism now, for me, gives us an opportunity to tap into um, an ideology, an epistemology, an ontology, a way of being, a way of knowing, a way of thinking, our beliefs. All of that is rooted in something black. So I inserted right before black feminism to give us a foundation to build upon. So it's not, I don't have to wear this title. Womanism is about how we show up, how we live, how we think, how we feel. Um, all of that is cohesive, and that's how we show up in the world. Um, Womanism, for me, when I am consulting or leading or teaching or speaking at a pharmaceutical breast cancer conference that is full of people that do not look like me, I am able to tell my story from a black woman's lens as a breast cancer survivor, and the challenges that we face that other people don't have to experience. And once you posit that information, it's like positing a seed and then nurturing it, so that when people begin to talk about, say, clinical trials, for instance, something in their mind will click about this black woman that talked about why is it so challenging for black women to be a part of clinical trials. Not to mention that we're not included in the invitation for clinical trials. That's for another podcast. But why sometimes we're hesitant, because of mistrust of the medical system. Why do we mistrust the medical system? Because of our infant mortality rate, and black maternal health, and black women who are dying, and our history of gynecological um, heinous mistreatment of black women, and the Tuskegee experiment, and Henrietta Lacks, and the list goes on and on and on. And why would I volunteer to be on a clinical trial in a medical system that doesn't care for me, that can't look me in the eye as a human being? Now, it's a general statement. I know that, and y'all who have been rocking with me know that I don't like to make these general, broad brush statements. But for brevity, overall, we have a problem in the medical system when it comes to a black beloved walking into a doctor's office, and a doctor's office assumes that you are X, Y, and Z. They may not look you in the eye. They may dismiss your pain, thinking that you are on some sort of substance, which you are abused. I mean, just a myriad of assumption and lies and judgment. And those storytelling, just like music or similar to music, opens up hopefully opens up the psyche, opens up the subconscious, opens up the conscience, so that when you are in other spaces as white people or other people of privilege, non-black people, when you go into spaces, you are thinking about those that do not have the privilege to just accept a clinical trial and trust the system, or be able to um, have access to even getting to a doctor because they live in an area that doesn't have large teaching hospitals. And so it just gets people thinking. When I stand before a group of diverse beloveds, but predominantly white beloveds, and I tell my story from the lens, a womanist lens, and from a black woman, it shifts the atmosphere and it shifts the narrative. You know why? Because we are divine. We are powerful beyond measure. We are authentic. We are the original. We are the beginning. We are the alpha. We are the ones who can make change just by stepping into a room. So when we embody and embrace womanism, it gives us a firm foundation and a courage and a confidence that we may not have had before, because the world tried to define who we are. The world tries to silence us. The world tries to kill us, as the late Lucille Clifton says, "Won't you come celebrate with me?" For everything, every day, someone has tried to kill me and has failed. Something, some system, some judgment, some dehumanizing behaviors have tried to kill me and has failed. So womanism gives us life, gives us honor, gives us dignity, and gives it to us right where we are. Yeah, I have degrees. That's all nice. That's good. And I'm using it for good. But besides that, those degrees are nice. But who am I without the degrees? Who am I without a title of reverend? Who am I? I am Tawana Angela Davis, a womanist who loves herself fiercely, who lives out loud, who loves other women sexually or non-sexually, who loves to dance, loves to receive the light and the energy from the moon, loves the sunrise, loves nature, loves to be free, loves to write, loves to read, loves to watch Chicago PD every Thursday on Ion, because my husband in my head, Kevin Atwater, aka Leroyce Hawkins, is on the show. So I have to support my husband. I am free to be, to show up and be who I choose to be, but without being an elitist, without being individualistic. I am being in the midst of others being. As the late Desmond Tutu says, my humanity is inextricably bound to yours, or in the spirit of Ubuntu, UBUNTU, I am because you are. So womanism is all that and then some. All that and then some. Womanism, to be a womanist is to love, and to love fiercely, and to love who we are, our hair, our skin tone, our body shape, our education, our skills, our passion, our families. our extended families, extended family, our tribe, our village. Womanism is about centering us, because when you center us, everybody gonna get free. Everybody gonna get free. And if you continue to disregard us and dehumanize us, then we gonna go get free, and then y'all gonna wanna come and be down with the revolution, and then it's gonna be too late. So womanism is putting us front and center. Again, not in an elitist stance, but in a way that honors who we are, because we are divine, we are beautiful, we are amazing, we are loving, we are beautiful. Womanism, we're going to take this journey this month. So I invite you to share this. Invite your friends next Tuesday, where I will be on time, because I'll be back in my own time zone. I invite you, we're going to have some special guests this month. You don't want to miss it. So I've given you your Womanism 101 and our intro for this month that I will redo to honor the names that my tongue just wouldn't let me pronounce properly. But I love everyone. Everyone in that video has played a very important role in my survival, in my life, in my survival, in my spiritual life, my healing life, my sisterhood. So we are going to exemplify what womanism is all about for this month. So let's celebrate Black Women's Herstory Month as we hone in on womanism and how we can be the ones that we are waiting for. I love you, beloveds. I will see you on next Tuesday on time. Click, like, share, subscribe, invite some people, and let's chop it up on next Tuesday. I'm Dr. Tad, and this is Tuesdays with Tawana, and I'm out. Later.